I'm actually going to demonstrate the toothpick in this case because we're going to have to put one in before we attach to him and stuff. So I kind of did like this. I didn't even put the detail on yet of the white, but very carefully I'm going to try and just slowly turn this in. And you might get a little smudging because that's, like I said, it's probably going to happen because the limb is so thin, but you can just patch it up. And I guess in this case, or at least with my scale, that's going to happen because, like I said, it's just so small. But if you were sculpting larger, you probably wouldn't have that problem at all. But that's going to save us a lot of trouble in the long run. And the toothpick is poking at the bottom because we can just stick that into the shoe once I do it, and that should be a fine size. So, okay, so we got this done. Let's actually do the shoe now. So, Metal Sonic shoe is in two parts. The first part, now these can be, a little bigger because Metal Sonic shoes are a bit exaggerated, I feel like, anyway, and we're gonna try and make it stand. We might put a stand on anyway, but okay. So first off is this part. Now I'm actually gonna cut this, and you can, like I said, even if I don't do it, you guys can constantly be checking to make sure the size is right. I would say that's a pretty good size for the front part. So, like that. And then we can probably use this for the back part, actually. Because overall, what I just sculpted was pretty good, and then we just had to kind of disconnect it for the moment because Metal Sonic has some robotic detail in there. So, alright, so let's take this, and I'm going to get some white. And once again, another disclaimer is that the Sculpey red clay and the more vibrant colors stains your hands. If you can tell, like I got red on my hands now. And if you touch the white, you're gonna get red mixed in with the white, and it won't be as vibrant of a white. So just keep that in mind. But so simply, all we're gonna do is take a long piece of clay, flatten it at both ends, roll it thin in the center, which is a little tricky, but just roll the center, don't roll, the whole thing. So you get this kind of shape and you can push the circles a little better at the end. And then all we're going to do is put that right at the end of this red bit. And you can flatten it a little bit too. And now all we'll do is attach this last bit of red and then just push it together. So check that out from the side. That looks exactly like Metal Sonic's shoe. And that's a pretty good size as well. So that is what I would recommend for this. But we're not done because he does have some detail on the bottom. He's got some white. Let's just do a little bit of that. And it's looking pretty thin, or at least we're going to have to make it thin because we got to put it all the way around. And like I said, you don't want like this huge white, like thing coming all the way out here. So and just cut it off. And then continue it around. Now we can kind of go back and fix it a little bit. Get it off of the circles. I'm going to flatten it a little bit. And there we go. That's pretty much Metal Sonic's shoe. I'm going to be fancying to some light detail because there actually is some. So, just going to draw this circle there and then draw the circle there. Now all we got to do is put it in right there. Push this together a little better. And then as we do with the head, just gently, be really careful not to smudge any detail on here. gently push it in. And there we go. There's Metal Sonic's leg and shoe and his arm and stuff. So I'm going to sculpt the other two limbs off camera, and I'll meet you guys back here. So I finished up the other leg and the other arm, and all that's left to do is put them in the oven. I did kind of pose them a little better. I don't know, I just wanted something a little more original, so that's what I did. So the thing I can say about the oven is, for somebody like Metal Sonic, and okay, I always have trouble trying to get these guys to stand up in the oven for whatever reason. And someone like Metal Sonic, you'd think because their feet are so flat, you know, and they're kind of proportioned all over, you probably wouldn't need any support. In this case, I don't think just adding a stand to him is going to work. And we can't lay him down because of all his details and his little like spikes and stuff. So this is what I would recommend, and this is what I often do. I don't think I've ever really showed it before. So what you can do is take some scrap clay or whatever, and essentially create a back for the character. So I'm not really going to push this down on him, but I'm going to kind of just gently bounce it against him and lean him back a little, so that if he does end up falling over, he will be caught in the back. So let me see if I can show that a little better, like this. Of course, you don't want him to tip over in the front either, so I guess you could put maybe something there if you wanted to, like in the front, but I think that's good. And if for some reason he ends up leaning over too far in the back, and then like, you know, just because of the way we put him like this, and it, you know, so you can't perfectly center him so that he'll stand up when he's done coming out of the oven, then we can do a small black stand just in case, and then we can glue him onto the stand after, in case he doesn't stand with that. So those are all the ways that I can think to really ensure that your clay model stands, because there's nothing worse than spending time on a clay model than just having it fall over. And like, even when I have thought I've engineered things perfectly, you know, in my sculpture and stuff, they still end up falling over just for, you know, any number of reasons. So I'm going to put this stand in there as well, and you guys do what you feel is best. Maybe you didn't pose Metal Sonic like I did, and, you know, you did something else, so do whatever works for you. But for me, I'm going to do this extra stand and then this kind of back stand as well. So we'll get him in the oven, and then I'll take him out, and I'll give my final thoughts to the figure. Okay guys, so Metal Sonic is now out of the oven, and looks like this little thing that I used to prop him up worked, because he stands up on his own, so we don't even need the stand, but that's over there. And then I did this on purpose. I decided to take one of his arms off because I wanted to show you guys, especially for anybody who might be new to the tutorials, how to fix something if it breaks. So this is Loctite super glue, and it's what I've been using to glue my clay for years and years and years. And this is all you really have to do. You just take, you know, the clay figure, and you put some glue on wherever it broke, and then all you simply do is just hold it in place. So mine would be like this for like, I don't know, maybe 15 seconds or so. This is really small, so I'm only going to hold it for that long, but I think it takes about between like 30 seconds and like a minute to dry. But yeah, that's essentially how you fix a clay model. With that said, guys, we're pretty much done with the Metal Sonic, the classic Metal Sonic clay tutorial. So this guy looks pretty cool. I'm glad that I was able to capture the kind of classic look. I feel like I did that. He's a lot more chibi than he would be if he was, you know, like not classic Metal Sonic. And I think the scale is pretty good. The only couple things I could say is that the red that I used turned out a lot darker than I planned for that to happen, because sometimes when you'll put clay in the oven, it'll change color as it bakes, and the red definitely did that here. But aside from that, the only other thing I can say is definitely make sure that you use that pulling technique that I made a video about, because the only thing I can really say looking at this model is there are some areas, in my opinion, that are a little bit more smudged than I would like them to be. Maybe like back here and stuff, and maybe the little bolts on his arms shouldn't be so large. So using that smudging technique and reducing the amount of clay you put on the model definitely would have helped there. But overall, I'm not complaining. I like how this looked. So thank you guys for watching. As always, you can request more clay tutorials. We actually have 4 other ones that I have to get to before anybody requests anything new, or if you want to request any demonstrations on any kind of generic tips or anything about clay, or if you want to leave feedback as to what you want to see changed, for future tutorials, or what you liked about, this tutorial, or anything like that, then you can do that in the comments as well. So, until next time, guys, I'm El Supersonic Q. Thanks for watching. Finn.